That's an interesting rendition of the Rigo.
I'm gonna fall asleep. I think we got it, guys. I'm
Get
just
comfy.
gonna walk right on over. I'm gonna walk right on over with confidence. It is. So I got this deck of cards. This Redskins. It's an old school Redskins deck of cards. And I figure, I always got to take a picture of something to commemorate the occasion. So I figured, deck of cards.
All right.
I don't know. That looks really bad. I walked over all confident. I walked over all confident.
I mean, there was no reason for the whole, on the walk over, if you're going to just miss it.
I strutted, and it was a bad strut.
Yeah, it's just, you've been doing good recently. You've had a good feel for this. Now you're getting, this is.
He's come down on my side.
Like an Abigail Spanberger. What do you think, Kev? No?
That's a long delay.
Hold up. I mean,
We're going with a different camera angle tonight, so.
you're now just getting up to leave, so hang on.
Okay. It's like Back to the Future.
It is really strange.
Marty McFly.
You went one, you went the other.
Irish bug.
That's kind of remarkable that you didn't cut out the crown molding. You got the white in, and it's still even. It works.
We're good?
Yeah.
All right.
What do you think?
We barehanded it.
The border seems even to me.
Border does seem even. This is what people pay top subscription for. Everybody, we are on a subscription push. 50 subscribers to 4,000. The road to 4,000 begins tonight.
Let's get it.
50 subscribers. That's all we need. Be a part of the team. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. This is, thank God it's Tuesday. It's my fault that we're late tonight. Had some postseason youth football, as we mentioned in the Hogs Haven Post. He's Kevin Ricca, the real youth football coach of the group.
Oh, no. I'm not certain how that goes, but don't ask me our record. T, what's your lifetime youth ball coaching record?
I know that it's a full victory Tuesday for me. I don't know about you guys. You had a loss tonight.
I did.
You had a loss this weekend. I didn't have any losses this weekend.
There you go.
He's smiling about not competing.
Come on.
You didn't compete this weekend?
I competed.
Unbelievable.
What did you compete in?
I played. I didn't lose at Candyland with my son. I won every game.
You cheating son of a bitch.
I got to keep track of all these.
I actually beat him in every race
wins
that I took against him this weekend.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Hey,
we're not impressed by these things.
I didn't lose. I'm not a loser at all. I'm a full winner on this Tuesday.
Speaking of
As
full
I'm sure a lot of you out there are.
winners, the Washington Commanders on quite a streak of winning. We're 4-4. The road. I titled tonight's episode "The Road to Respectability." I feel the road to respectability, which we seem to perpetually be on. Sometimes on the side of the road, sometimes broken down on the shoulder, but we are on that path. The Washington Commanders are doing it in I'm not going to say unspectacular fashion because I think it's spectacular. But the way in which we're doing it, it's not the way you spend an off season drawing it up, with your backup quarterback, with the, ragtag offensive line, sometimes in a way that might not win a beauty pageant. But I don't think any of us ever signed for a group of guys that grew up rooting for the Hogs. I don't think we never signed up for any beauty pageant scenarios. Win is a win is a win in this league. I've been taught the lesson. I know you guys know the lesson well, and I've been taught it as well. It's hard to win in this league, and there's a reason for that. We're on a winning streak. The story of our season is different than in previous years. I know what people think when they look at our team. I know we're getting scheduled for people's homecomings still, and that's okay. But the way in which we're doing it this year, just as a kind of a top of the show thought, I think we touched on this the last couple of weeks. We've come out of the gate so poorly over the last 15 to 20 years, just in a variety of terrible ways. And we finished poorly in some of those seasons. And when we've done well, it's been on the strength of a second half season surge because we had to have it. And we may still have to have it. but we didn't start in a way that's reminiscent of the terrible, terrible, terrible teams that we've had to watch. So I'm going to tip my hat to a win. I'm going to tip my hat to figuring out a way to go on the road and beat a team who had us by the balls. At points in this game, the same as it's been for the last couple of weeks. And at the end of the day, finding a way to put the ball in the most monstrous player on our team's hands and letting him do it. I mean, take it away.
I love him so much. I don't know how many times you can possibly watch This Is My City, but the story of Terry McLaurin is a tale of two cities. Because let me tell you right now, my friend, you got this city right here, as Ken would say, by the balls as well. He is the guy. He is our guy. He is the face of our team right now. And I know how much he's respected in his hometown of Indianapolis and how huge that was, and 70 family members, and what a play, what an instinct. He just does it all correctly. Last week I went off about how I feel about him. I think everyone on this board agrees. And here, what a stud, man.
What a stud.
What a stud. Pay that man his money. He got it. He stayed right here. And look what he's doing. He's putting us back on the road to respectability.
Those are the plays that definitely, justify whatever it was they were going to do to keep him here. Because those are the plays that get it done.
Two big re-signings of guys we drafted that we got right in the draft, and we paid them their money, market value. Jonathan Allen and Terry McLaurin. What else can you ask for then to get it right at two spots that make the biggest differences on their respective side of the field, besides the quarterback? Jonathan Allen has played his absolute ass off. He's been leaving it on the field.
He's an animal.
What he's doing, I mean, if you watching him, we're all watching him. He is unstoppable, and he leads by example, and he's the man.
No, they're both ferocious leaders and competitors. Those are the guys that you give the captain's shield to because they've earned it and everyone wants them to have it. That's the best. In years past, we gave it to the guy who maybe had the most, was closest to being the best leader, but it had to be somebody. Now we've got bona fide NFL leadership in both sides of our locker room with those two guys, and that's a huge deal. To get to the next level, no one's satisfied with 4-4.
Nope.
But it's cool. It's a lot better than being 2-6 or whatever the hell else we were usually about this time of year.
Exactly.
So.
No one's satisfied, but I think it goes towards what you were kind of saying, Ken. It's got a different feel. Every Sunday's fun, right? Every Sunday's got its kind of drama and got you on the edge of your seat. It's not the doom and gloom that we've been through in years past, knowing that whether we won on a particular Sunday or not, the season was going to be lost. The season has not been lost.
No.
And it's not going to be lost for a while. But damn if they're not going to make it entertaining and kind of, heart-wrenching at the end when they get it done.
Yeah, and I'll say this also because we've gotten to our second quarterback a million times. We've gotten to our third quarterback 1,000 times. We've gotten to guys on the street dressing to play quarterback for us dozens of times. We understand what it's like to wake up on Sunday morning and loyally turn the TV on or loyally go to the stadium, which we've all done, and say, okay, well, it's not our guy. It's not our franchise guy. It's not our starter. What do you expect? The thing about Taylor Heinicke, and I think people can have this debate, right? And someone asked me, what is he? Who is he? What is he? And I said he's one of the best 35 quarterbacks in the league. Let's just start there. He's one of the best 35 quarterbacks in the league. He's better than some other people who are starting. He's better than some other people. Some people got. I would say that for starters. And secondly, he's not doing it the way Joe Burrow or Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes is doing it because he's not that guy. But the way he's doing it works for us because of who he is in our locker room, what the time that he's put in. Again, another guy, another off-season decision not to get rid of him, not to move him, to make sure you have him in the fold. These little decisions, paying our guys, keeping a guy like Taylor Heinicke in the fold. I get that he's not 6'5" with a Peyton Manning, cannon, but at the same time, what he's doing and the way he's doing it is easily good enough for us to win with, and it's fun as hell.
Yeah.
He plays the position as Bradley Noel from Sublime would say, like a mother effing riot. He's out there just every instance that he's on the field and the clock is ticking post snap. Anything can happen. That 4th and 1 to Curtis Samuel, the back, the yo-yo up, the field the pocket back out, the sprint right, wasn't going to make it to the edge. Stop, fling it, sit down. Like you said, every Sunday is great. It's a lot better when we got friggin' Riot playing quarterback because now he makes some crazy ass decisions. He does, and he's gonna. But I think he's kind of tempered those in this year as opposed to last year. We've seen him throw it away a little bit better, casually, calmly get rid of it. Do what he did 5 for 5 in that final drive, man. There's no doubt about the fact that our guy right now, our leader, plays the position with way more vigor, with way more leadership, with way more passion than the other guy. And right now, that's working for us tremendously well. Our offensive line is still giving up about 9 hits per game. All right, that's been the average with Carson. It's been the average with Taylor. The difference is about 4 sacks per game with Carson Wentz under the center, and Taylor Heineke has gotten sacked 3 times in 2 weeks. So 1.5 to 4 with the same amount of hits tells you a little bit of something about his feel for the pocket, his feel for the position, the offense, his comfort level, and he's improved since last year, man. He certainly has.
For all of his shortcomings, which I am very vocal about, and he has some at the professional level, and he's not a guy that's going to help take your organization to the next level. He is capable of winning this league. But what we love about him is that he has proven when the game is on the line, the dude has got some big-ass balls, and he is a baller. And it's fun as hell to watch.
Well, you got to have some big ones if you're going to be a baller.
You can't help but love the guy and what he does in those instances. And what he's also doing is he's giving the team a chance to win, right? That ball to McLaurin, you throw it to your best player. He's the one that makes all the money.
Hell yes.
He's the one that makes all the money. Give him the shot.
People are criticizing that there.
I haven't really
take those
seen
criticisms.
Wentz do that, nor has he really been
Shove
in
him
the
up your
position
ass.
to do so. But I love it when the game's on the line and Taylor Heineke's coming up. No matter how bad he's played, that last drive was unbelievable. The way that he was able to escape, extend, make plays on 4th and 6, make another play on 4th and.
Yep.
I mean, you can't help but love the dude, knowing that
I love him.
he's still not the guy you need to take you to where we want to go.
He's the guy we need
I
right
love
now.
the fact that he's here now.
The interesting thing for me is I think it now. I don't think the Redskins or the Commanders front office is about to go out in front of a microphone and say that they've made a decision on Carson Wentz in 2023. Nobody expects that. But I'm interested in, once again, the front office aspect of the Taylor Heineke saga, which is we've had him now for a couple of years. He was nobody else's, and he's ours. We've brought him up. We've paid him a couple of bucks. I'm interested in wondering if now's not the time to strap another two-year contract on him at whatever to keep him in the fold. Do I need to slow down?
I think you just need to stop strapping things on our hero quarterback right now. Let's let him run free for a little while before we strap something on him.
$5 million a year for a guy that that can come in. Again, not to be our starter.
No, but I'm just saying,
stay on our team.
It's a weird thing to negotiate right at this point because I've always thought he's going to be someone's starter. I just think he's good enough to start in this league. But I just don't know how that works if you sign a $5 million deal to be the backup again. But
I can't.
No one's going to pay him starter. No one's going to pay him starter money.
No,
sadly for the league, he is capable. But you're right. He's better than some starters that are out there. But that still doesn't mean he's the guy that an organization needs to make it to the playoffs, to win in the playoffs.
No, but they'll always need a guy like him.
But they're always going to need a guy.
Yeah.
But he's more valuable to
Case
us.
Keenum has kicked around for a while in that type of role. Kyle
Simeon.
Allen, and no one's really had the size nuggets of Taylor Heineke.
No. He's got a
he's a
factor.
Colt. He does. He's got all of it. He's all of it.
The whole thing
That
with
isn't
backup
it.
quarterbacks in this
That's all he
league
is.
when they get on the field and they're able to do what Taylor does. They always know that there's probably going to be another guy coming in either next year in the draft or in free agency, and they're not going to be the guy. That's what happened to Taylor already. My point about Taylor
he's never
is
going to be a top priority.
exactly. he's more valuable to us because of the time that he spent here. He's more valuable to us because of the time he's already had with our running backs and with Terry McLaurin.
And those things work themselves out. You don't need to do that right now. And
We don't need to. I'm just saying we've not done that before.
Else,
I'm gonna bandy that out there. I mean, the thing about the NFL, that's cool, which is totally new age in terms of where we are in the sport, the trading deadline. That was never a thing, 5, 6, 7 years ago. The fact that I was on, like, you were getting a ticker, the William Jackson thing, obviously, but how many deals were there? There were like 5 or 6 deals that all have happened today. I think that's cool. I know in football it's super hard because it's a short season. Moving from one city to the next in such a brutal league. It's not like baseball where you just you're going to stand in the batter's box and see pitches from guys from the other team. It's different or hockey for that matter. So the fact that it's becoming more of a thing to me is awesome, and I think it also lends itself to shoring up spots like this. I'll let it die. How about this? I think he is somebody worth investing in on like another 2-year flyer because he's proven his value, and I don't think he can be more valuable to another team than to us because of the time that he's had with our team. That's the best thing backup could ever ask for.
Which means we're not going to be any
also
rush
not
this
remember.
time.
How many years?
That's true.
How many years does Ron have?
He's got 2 more. He's got 2 more years after
He's
this
got
one.
2 more years
on his current contract. I mean, I know not everyone wants to hear it, but he ain't going anywhere at this point in time.
Yeah.
The new owner, of course, can make his own decision next year, but we'll let that one work itself out. 2 years, $20 million. I hope that's not what he's suggesting for Taylor Heineke. That's certainly not what I'm suggesting for Taylor Heineke.
It'd be about 1/3 the going rate for the average starting quarterback in the NFL,
or less. I mean, I think you're talking about like $7 or $8 million bucks a year at best. And you guys, and you know what? Guarantee it, because who cares? Hopefully you don't have to use him. It's like in case of emergency, break the glass, and you got a guy who's going to walk onto the field and force it to Terry McLaurin. That's the other beautiful thing.
Now we're 4-4. We're buying insurance.
It's true. No. You gotta have a good backup.
I love it. I love your vision.
It's
for
not
us.
going to happen.
I love it.
And then when you got a guy like Sam Howell behind him, that's got a lot of potential. You're not going.
I understand, and
you're
you're gonna have to bring another guy. It's gonna be
you're not gonna
it's gonna
lock
be
in
Hal,
number 2
somebody, and somebody
for years
next
down
year
the
in the
down
off
the
season.
line.
Hal, somebody, and somebody. I don't
we
know
get
what the other
it.
two
We get
somebodies
it.
are.
You love Heineke. We get it.
No. I just love the idea of being, or I think it's an organizational soundness. But the cool thing about Heineke, just to round it out, is he's not feeling the pressure to be the guy who has to make the play, as evidenced by his willingness to put the ball in the air for Terry McLaurin to make the play.
Part of me feels like he plays like he doesn't have any pressure at all. Part of me feels like the baller in him is certainly an it factor thing, but I mean, I don't think he feels like he's got to prove anything.
Why would he?
No, of
Right.
course not.
He's already.
I think I said it last week. It's like he's playing with house money. I mean, the guy is
prove- he
living
hasn't
a
anything to
life,
prove.
making a couple mil.
But he's being smart about it. He's not, like I said, he's not going out there and being like, I
Being a
gotta do
badass.
this. I gotta make the play. I've got to be the hero. No,
He's
putting the ball in the air
an
so that
Eagle
Terry
fan.
McLaurin can be the hero. That's the difference between so many people in professional sports. People who don't know their role. People who don't stay in their lane. People are always trying to outdo what they're supposed to do. That's the one thing that he does so well. He stays inside of himself and he figures out. Listen, if I can get one-on-one with
he's
Terry
from
McLaurin and put the
Eagle
ball in the air.
He's from Eagle Fang. He
There you go.
strikes first, and he's badass.
So let's talk about another guy who has come on super strong over the last couple weeks in the face of the addition of other players at his position. Antonio Gibson has looked very good. Everyone was talking about looking for the exit door after he had one fumble, and he's got like 275 yards in yards from scrimmage over the last 1.5-2 games.
He's been awesome.
What I noticed different about him, and I was willing to chalk it up a while back to just to be the presence of Samuel and McKissick and B-Rob. The jets that he's turning on around the tackle runs, he's always had him, but like I feel like he's running a little angrier, and that is something that is new.
It's confident. He's not trying to figure out the game speed or when the lane's going to open up. He is running with confidence. He's understanding that if I hit this now with patience and then burst, or if I'm heading outside, I got to go now. I got to go now. He's understanding the different plays and what we're trying to accomplish, what he's trying to accomplish. The guy has been, I mean, outrageous. 7 carries, 7 receptions, 2 kickoff returns. This is his role. This is what he's best at.
Racking up yards.
This is what he should be doing, making plays.
First downs.
However, there's no like scripted thing, but let him be the guy. Let him do this. Let B. Rob take that stuff. Let them be them. This is what we envision. It's kind of cool to watch it unfold a little bit, especially with Taylor Heineke under center, and B. Rob obviously was out. So let's be real here. But this is the genesis of that. And if it occurs, if Brian Robinson continues to improve on his own, this could be a very big deal for us. While getting Logan Thomas back and getting some of our
that's
pieces.
that's where I'm going, because on that offense, our skill spots are looking so good. Obviously, you got Terry. Curtis Samuel is showing us who he's all about. Antonio
Gibson star stepping it up. What about McKissick though?
So
he's kind of like what's up with McKissick,
he's
man?
Getting
Like what do we?
Very few opportunities. Not getting many opportunities he used to have.
I don't know. He used to be so flashy and make he used to jump off the screen, his burst and explosion.
Robinson has taken that away.
There's something. There's a little something. I'm just talking about himself. Forget about like his opportunities. I'm talking about him with the ball in hand. He was dangerous.
He's
now
getting shoestring tackled.
He just seems like
times.
a guy. Like he stumbled down on. I'm sorry, man.
Before
you can't. So it was him and Taylor Heineke.
Yep.
They got tangled up. Someone stepped on someone's toe. It happens, but it can't happen there. Jesus.
McKissick only has 5 more carries than Samuel. On the season.
My also the other part about this offense that's clearly not clicking for reasons that are both extremely well known and ones that not a whole lot we can do about is the tight end spot. Obviously Logan has been banged up and has been slow to return. I love Armani Rogers, but I don't know how exactly he fits ultimately into what Scott Turner's trying to do in terms of like base packages. But how big of a priority? As long as we're talking about priorities, I think middle of the season. Remember, I said we're not going to do this every week. We're not going to try to fill in holes and sign guys and draft guys. But the tight end position in this offense is pretty big deal. Greg Olsen obviously was the prototype for Scott Turner's offense at the tight end spot. We don't have that. But where are we in our search for that? Is Logan Thomas going to get there this season? Are we going?
He's gotten there. He just needs to get healthy.
Yeah.
And get back. John Beck is more of a a run blocking guy. He can catch the ball a little bit. But let's be fair. Cole Turner was the guy that we fell in love with. Maybe not the three of us. We were happy to see what he was going to do. Ron Rivera couldn't stop talking about him. Scott Turner loved him. The guy led the nation in pass catches as a tight end coming out of college, and he really has never gotten started. He's never gotten ready to go. And Armani Rogers was playing quarterback a year ago, and he's given us some great snaps. So I like the idea of the group. I do too, and he's going to be a stud. He's still a little bit raw. I don't think they trust him in the run game just yet. But, having Logan Thomas come back healthy and be a mentor to a guy who was also a college quarterback is nuts. Having him, Armani Rogers, just be around Logan Thomas, which is huge. But I can't wait to see what Cole Turner has. And as soon as he hit his head on the turf last week, I said it. I knew he was done. You can tell when those things happen. And he rocked his head off the turf. And that could be a couple more weeks. I don't know if he'll ever actually have a rookie ability to show us what he's got. So I can't wait to see what he's got in the next couple of years. We got him for 3 more after this. So I like having the youth in him and having Logan Thomas back. That's a big deal. And we got John. I like our group.
Long term, they look
John
pretty
Bates.
good. Right now, they're banged up. They're just not.
Yep.
They're
It's
not
as bad as our offensive line.
and it hurts our offense
spots.
because that's one
Yep.
dynamic that we have that we can't completely utilize right now.
And I don't know how much the lack of production, so not to pin it on any individual, the lack of production out of the tight end position offensively is hurting us. I mean, I think we're getting hurt, by more than just that. But that stood out to me. Let's switch it over to the defense for a second, because I want to throw out I want to continue. I don't want to let a Tuesday go by where I don't sing the praises of Cam Curl. I just love what he's doing. He's operating on such instinct now. If you put your eyeballs on him pre-snap, during the snap, he's moving in a fluid confident manner. On the defense, besides Jonathan Allen, I don't know that there's anyone else who's playing with more 25-year veteran type. He's got like an aura
I kind
about
of
him.
think Payne is a little bit.
Sure.
I think that's self-motivated though because he's in a
Cam Curl's
contract year.
balling. I mean, Cam Curl.
I'm not
is,
saying he's balling better than them. I
Yeah.
just think I think Payne's playing pretty damn well. I think the front four, for
They
the most
are.
part, whoever's in there,
strength
at
of
the
our
time
team
is
front
playing
side.
good football.
But I mean, I guess I'll make the argument. I think
one
Cam
on
Curl is
pressure
standing
hits,
out.
right, in the NFL right now. So
Yep. And our safeties are both top 5 ranked in the PFF garbage, whatever. But that doesn't mean that they're not damn good. So I like the way they're playing. I like the physicality. So throw something at this knucklehead. Good Lord. Oh, that was a direct hit. It's gonna need to be a wet paper towel.
Our resident Dolphin fan is snoring right now.
I mean, listen. Maybe we should start talking about the Vikings. We put him. The defensive
There
side
he
of the
is,
ball.
right there he
He
is.
perked up on Vikings.
Good
At least you
Lord.
can't snore during our show, for God's sake.
That was loud, dude.
Where's AGH? Did I miss AGH tonight? I like to make sure I get everyone out. Rob Cohen, Greg Martin, Ken Harris, EO in the house. I saw Manor speaking. Obviously, we got Rhett, J Dubs. Appreciate all you guys hanging out tonight. Please tell a friend. We're looking for 50 subscribers. We're going to get to 4,000 subscribers here in the near term. I was waiting to make the push until we got to 50. Now we just need 50. Hashtag tell a friend. Let's go back to the early 90s style. And if and only if you hear something you like, click the thumbs up. We appreciate that.
Going back to defense, we're
let's
still
talk about
not
it.
consistent enough. They're still not consistent enough, I don't think, which is why these games are
Expand. In what exact
I
dimension?
feel like there's a lot of third and longs. There's a lot of big plays they're giving up that is keeping other teams in the game, right?
Okay.
I think somebody I read today said it. Yeah, I mean, the Washington football team snatched a victory out of
the jaws of defeat.
The jaws of defeat.
I'll take issue with that.
But I think that's a part of, at least defensively, it's not being as consistent.
Well, they only
but
gave
they're
up
making,
16.
but they're. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But it seems like they're still vulnerable, right? I'm not completely comfortable on a third and long that we're definitely going to close it out and have them punt, because Ellinger or Fields or somebody's going to pull out a play that just shouldn't have happened.
Sure.
I think that's really the only knock. They are playing to win football games. It is the offense that is not doing their end of it to win the football games, because defense is doing what they have to do.
Can I offer something to that, T? Because I think that's
Sure.
a good segue, because I had this queued up, and I don't want to throw you guys off. But I thought this was an interesting stat that I don't know if I beat Kevin to or not. Outside of the NFC East, in our conference, which again, I'm shrinking the field, there's only two teams in the entire NFC that aren't in our conference who have more wins than us. That's crazy. We would be second in the NFC North. We would be tied for first in the NFC South, and we would be tied for second in the NFC West. It just so happens that the other three teams in our own division all have more wins than us.
But what I love about that is that you led me to this real quick. Not since the merger in 1970 has one division had a win percentage that is as high as the NFC East does right this very moment. That's insanity. And we just saved that by winning 3 in a row.
Yes.
And getting out of the basement and having everyone pointing the finger at us.
No losing teams in our division.
No losing teams in our division, and the highest win percentage since the merger at this late in the season ever.
And look how paltry
Holy
this
moly.
division was 2 years ago. It was a joke.
We had a downtime. We had a little bit of an ebb. We meant to flow, and we ebbed instead. But now we're flowing. We're back to flowing.
We won the division with a losing record.
Yeah, well, I mean, that happens in the South all the time.
Yeah.
But
It happens.
not in the East. The East is when we grew up in the 80s, understanding what football was by the East. And not even then was it the best it ever was. Now, granted, the Cardinals lost to everyone by 100. I mean, they had to play everyone twice, and there was 5 or 6 teams in the East.
Neil Lomax.
Poor Neil Lomax.
Neil Lomax. I'm
but
sorry, Neil.
Not just Neil Lomax. There was the other guy, and then Roy,
Stump Mitchell.
Yeah, Roy Jefferson.
Roy Green. Wasn't it Roy Green?
Both.
Yeah.
Roy was ours too, and
Yeah.
then
Yep.
Aeneas Williams at the end.
Aeneas. I love Aeneas.
Yeah, when he was
He
around,
got a ring though, didn't he?
But Jim Hart, as I was thinking,
Mm-hmm.
Jim Hart. We beat the dog snap out of those guys every time. Oh, I love like, hey, you got tickets? Yeah, I'm going to the game. What are you playing? The Cardinals? Oh, it's gonna be an easy one.
So that's to say, I think that, T, you and I talked about this. I think when one night when we were having some pillow talk, we talked about the
Fireside chats. Jesus,
the landscape of the league. Sometimes I have to talk him to sleep.
can you awake?
Hey, you hang up. No, you hang up. I'm not hanging up.
Sometimes you say things that make me feel so uncomfortable.
The landscape of the league. I understand what people see when they look at us. I understand it. I've been looking at us for a long time. I get it.
Big old naked Snyder.
Big old naked Snyder. But let's
Don't
be
look
real.
up the skirt.
Let's be real, and let's be really real. The NFL is so top heavy right this very second. I mean, there's the Bills, there's the Chiefs, and there's the Eagles. That's it. I mean, there's other teams the Vikings have one loss. I get it. I'm not a believer in the Vikings in the same conversation as the Bills, but I understand that the Vikings are getting it done and winning. And we're going to talk about the Vikings. But there's 3 or 4 teams at the top, and then there's just everybody, and then there's a couple real crappy teams, and we're not one of the real crappy teams. So.
There's that.
You can climb out of this. There is that.
We're not the ugliest.
We're not the ugliest.
Let's go to the dance. Holy shit.
4-4 isn't going to blow your skirt up. You're not. But we're also not the ones when last call comes on and Kevin turns the lights on at the bar. We're not sitting there waiting for someone to ask us out. We're going already. I think that this is a situation that we can work with in the modern age of the NFL. Based on the way we're playing.
Or else turn them damn lights back off. Turn them lights back off.
I'm so scared what's coming out of his mouth.
I'm
so scared.
I think that this team is getting so good at winning ugly, and this is the year of winning ugly in this league.
Write that down.
I
got it.
Hey, thank you. We're gonna get a chance to put it up against Minnesota and Philadelphia the next 2 weeks, and I understand what that is, and I understand what that means, and I understand what chances we have. I think our chances are far better with Minnesota. That's what we got this week. Let's start there. The road to respectability runs through Kirk Cousins. How's he going to handle us? What's he going to do against us?
I'm going to say the same damn thing. When he left here, I said, I wish him the same exact record and the same exact success he had here. Nothing more, nothing less. And
which is what he's done.
The last 3 years of starting 16 games for us versus the first 3 years of starting the full slate of games for the Vikings, he had one more win. Mm-hmm. Same amount of ties, less loss, one more win.
It was a meaningless win.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Way to go. And I know this. Right now, this team, 5 wins in a row. 5 of those 6 wins have been one-possession games. Only one of those wins came against a team with a winning record, and that was Miami without Tua. So This is not a team that has been just torching the NFL. All of a sudden, you look up and you're like, wait a minute. They're 6-1? Yeah. I mean, you look down at the numbers, and it just doesn't make any sense. They're middle of the pack in offense. Of course, Jefferson's a beast, but he's third in yards, but he's only got 2 teeters. Kirk's not lighting it up. He's not top 10 in many statistical categories. Offense is 15th. That defense is last, one of the last in the league in yards given up.
Dalvin
28.
Cook's a beast.
There's a lot of guys that can play ball for them. Don't get me wrong. They're an NFL team, but 6-1, I'm not sure we're going up again. Put it this way.
We're not going against the Bills.
Exactly.
We're not going
or
against
the Eagles. Shit. That's
exactly.
what I'm saying.
Yes.
No doubt about it. That team is physical and badass, and they make me nervous that they could beat us by 30.
Yeah.
The Vikings do not. I don't feel like that team's going to
scare you more than Aaron Rodgers. I don't think so.
No, because I was saying it to you earlier. He's no longer the enemy, the one that got away, the villain. He's none of that. He's just Kirk. He was just Kirk here. He's just Kirk there. I'm not mad that we don't have him. I'm not. I don't wish we did. I don't know. I'm not happy that we don't. It's done. He's not the middle of the conversation
He's a turkey
anymore.
sandwich for dinner.
Yeah, he's just so
it's
plain.
It's good, but I mean,
he's so.
It's just.
And I love vanilla, so I don't want to do injustice to vanilla.
Something you do because you just don't have the ingredients to do anything better.
For me.
It's whatever.
Yeah. The cool thing about watching him play and knowing that we get him is, let's talk about him under pressure. Because he has one of the best receivers that I've seen in quite some time. Justin Jefferson He's awesome. We've played good receivers. We're going to see good receivers all year long. We're not going to see very many as good as Justin Jefferson. And Kirk Cousins is not a dummy, and we watch on a weekly basis. He's going to throw it right at Justin.
But he's
all
only
day.
got 2 teeters. So
Only 2 touchdowns. He's
maybe
getting a lot of
Maybe
volume.
we'll pray for him about this.
So is somewhat of a bend don't break. But But the thing about us against Kirk is
Because Kirk's been a terrible red zone quarterback.
yeah.
But go ahead.
You put him on. You put. I don't want to put happy feet on Kirk. I don't want to put that on him because he's a pro. But you put Jonathan Allen and Montez Sweat and Deron Payne, and then whoever is going to come in and out of that 4th spot, and make him make quick decisions. I think the knock on Kirk that I think has been there for his whole career is he's going to make the safe play, and he's going to make the safe decision early in a down.
He's going to get the ball out quick.
He's going to do his best to get the ball quick.
That's what they're doing right now. And for better or for worse, he's getting the ball out quickly. He's got that quick release. He's good at that. Hey, we've only given up 1 touchdown to a wide receiver in the last month, in the last 4 games. Only 1 wide receiver has scored 1 touchdown.
Oh wait. All right. Now you got me. Do you know it?
I don't want to get sidetracked here. I want to talk about boring ass warm ice milk.
Is it a
what
cowboy?
we're talking about. Listen, there was no muff in the game this week, so let's just get some filler in. All right, we don't need a muff to win.
Who caught the touchdown against us? Who's the
We don't need a muff to. What was that?
We don't need
Cherry
no
wine.
muffin muffer.
We don't need a muff to win the game.
It's a song from the 70s.
But it's more fun from the podcast. I think it's from the 80s. Jermaine something? No, it wasn't Jermaine Jackson. Who sang that?
Tito.
Bad boy? No, it wasn't a Jackson. I always thought it was. And drink some cherry wine. Whatever it is. Kirk Cousins is not drinking any cherry wine. He's not taking any clothes off. He's not doing any of that stuff.
To take our
Right.
muff off. To have a good time.
No, I didn't say we were taking. No,
Uh-huh.
no, everyone leave your muffs on. Just T. T.
God's
Leave
sake.
your muff on. Just Red.
Benjamin.
Jesus. God.
Red Donnelly. Red Donnelly. For
Oh, the
God's
muff's
sake.
off.
All right.
Let the muff.
Vikings 29th against the pass, 8th against the run. Well, good news. We tried all. We're gonna try to throw it. We're gonna try to run it.
Yeah.
I do respect that defense in Minnesota. I have for a while. They're not going to be the best defense that we play by any stretch.
Well,
But
here's who you
they
respect.
get off the field.
Zadarius, baby.
Yeah,
Zadarius Smith is leading the NFL in tackles for loss and sacks as of right now. I think 13.5 and 8.5, and that's an issue. That's a dude. That's an issue.
But with Heineke, what we've seen is that you play action as long as you can get a running game going, at least a decent one that they have to respect. Well, then you start moving him out of the pocket. You start play action. You get him away from him. So
Well,
he
here's
doesn't-
the problem with
he
play
doesn't have
action.
his chances.
The problem with play action, these cats have given up 50.5 yards per game for the last month as well. No one's running the ball on them. People are throwing the ball on them and gaining yards. So Heineke might have a day. It could be a McLaurin. You have to.
You got to run the.
Trust me. But
And maybe this
what
is
I'm
a
saying
game
is
where
bad
Robinson kinda
football
breaks out.
teams have not been running the ball with success against them as of late, and getting behind and chucking it all over them. And that's been the formula for their skewed little scenario in the defensive yards per game, and they're one of the worst ever because their run defense is pretty stout. So as of late, the last month, the last 4 games to be specific, I think it's 202 yards they've given up on the ground. So that shows you that they've got some dudes. But Dalvin Tomlinson out, one of their
That's
best
huge.
D tackles. He's
Huge. He's awesome.
He's an every down guy
Yep.
at the tackle spot, which there's not a ton of those in this league. And he's been rushing the passer with better opportunities this year than in years past with the gap scheme Zimmer was using. So now he's got the ability to actually make a dent in that defense. And he's always been a big hoss in the run game. Not having him there is a big deal. And that's huge, especially with that 50.5 that they've been locking people down with. So, but yes, we have to get into our play action. We have got to get to our play action. We've got to get Gibson carries. We've got to get B-Rob going. No doubt.
Let me also introduce another concept, which is I get that people want to hang the ugly moniker on us, but the truth of the matter is we've turned games.
What ugly moniker?
When the people watch the games against.
Have these people seen the rest of the NFL?
No. Hold on. Hear me out. You got the Bears game, the 12-7, the 23-21 Packers game. You got the 17-16 Colts game. people want to hang that moniker on our style of play, but what I'm trying to say is I think we've succeeded in getting the other team that we're playing in any given week to get it to play our style. And I think we're getting pretty damn good at our style. And so if we can take a 6-1 team like the Vikings and make them play our style, I like our chances. I mean, if we can't get into a track race with just about anyone. We don't want to be in a game like that. We really aren't built at the moment to get in a game like that. Right. We haven't been in a game like that. We've been pulling. I mean, if you would have thought the Packers could have potentially taken off on us, but we're making other teams play in the mud with us. And if that happens against the Minnesota Vikings, that's also a feather in our cap because A, it's a style we like, and B, it's not the way Minnesota wants to play.
And here's what we had to take advantage of. Not just the turnover game that we finally got some breaks in the past game. We're recovering fumbles. Like we said, their defense is 28th in the NFL in giving up yards. They're not great that way, but they're top 5, I think 4th in takeaways. I think they're getting 1.9 a game. So we can't bullshit there, obviously. Yep. But their defense is terrible in the red zone. On the season, they have given up in 18 red zone possessions. They've given up 14 touchdowns. And that's one of the lowest percentages.
That's a great stat.
But in recent weeks, how about this, which is the telltale stat for Taylor Heineke moving into this game. 10 for 10, Jared Goff, Andy Dalton, Justin Fields, and Teddy Bridgewater. Those 4 quarterbacks are combined, and each has multiple trips. 2 of them have 3, and 2 of them have 2. Perfect in the red zone. Goff, Dalton, Fields, and Teddy Bridgewater are perfect 10 for 10 this season against this defense. So you can't convince me that we should be shottied up and scrambled and been made to fight. We should be salivating over the red zone experience that we're about to have against the Vikings this week. If that group of 4 has a perfect score, I'm taking Taylor and his ability to make plays.
I think we have better options with Heineke in the red zone than with Wentz.
Especially if Dotson gets back. He's our red zone dude. We miss him in the red zone. We've been fairly okay, but goddamn, that guy was a hell of a red zone dude. Of course, agreed. But Dotson's the dude that he get his separation and his strong hands and his crazy catch radius for a guy his size. I love it. I love
3
him in the
names
red
for
zone.
you guys. Do they play this? Do they play this week or not? I think a couple of them are more obvious than others. Jahan Dotson. Does he play this week?
I don't think he does.
I don't know, man. Hamstrings are so weird. My son keeps asking me, Dad, what's up? Is this guy all right? I'm like, well, hamstrings for athletes are difficult. Like mine never really bothered me all that much. But,
hamstrings for fast people.
Yes.
Which I never knew.
Sam Cosme
is different.
I mean, he keeps being active. Eventually, he's got to be ready to go, right?
Eventually, he's got to be ready to go.
Wasn't he out there this past week?
I think he got some. I think
he didn't start.
He had one bad one.
Don Cornelius was still at right tackle when the game started. That's all I remember because he's a massive dude. He eats up a lot of pixels on your television. He's a gigantic man.
He needs to get healthy though.
Cosme does. I know the answer to the question for this week, but Chase Young.
Not this week.
Not this week. So they haven't started the 21-day clock yet on Chase.
It's going to be a bye week. They're going to wait.
Yeah.
They're going to wait.
I mean,
how much longer? 5 more weeks? Maybe not the bye week. That's 6 weeks. That's kind of crazy. But
our bye's not for another 5.
Yeah, I think 13 or 14, something like that. It's like super late.
All right, so that's maybe I take back my original statement. Maybe that's waiting too long, but not this week. Do you really want to be like, all right, let's bust out Chase Young on Monday night in Philly? It just doesn't seem like.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Like that'll be what the whole pregame's all about. And then all of a sudden, Michael Vick will throw it 95 yards to freaking Deshaun Jackson. Yeah. And then the Beltway's backed up. I was heading to the stadium. I got off the exit and drove to Joe Murphy's house. And we were like, let's not go.
You're still there.
There was no fireside chats,
came
guys.
Here from there.
It was, yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean, did I miss anybody? Anyone that we need? We're not. Carson Wentz isn't coming out of that tunnel. Holcomb.
Yeah, damn right we need Holcomb.
I think Holcomb is going to be there this week.
But how about Jamin and crew?
He may have made a few plays, man. He got his hand on the ball. He was in the right place a lot. I know he's not going to wow you with athleticism.
Was ridiculous.
Jamin Davis.
I said it again last year.
Showed up.
Jamin Davis. It took him 4 years to figure it out in college, and then when he finally did, he was an absolute monster on the football field. Maybe he's still got a little bit of room. He's got the physical tools to do it.
Clock started today.
He's getting better.
I'm sorry, T. Greg Martin's reporting that the clock started on Chase Young today. I did not know that. Everything, so much happened today. That's a big deal because
the Houston Texans after Philadelphia. So we're just gonna bust them out all over the Texans' ass.
Well, I
Have some
tell
of that,
you what,
Houston.
because I agree with you. I don't think you break the glass for Philly. I just don't. But I would break the glass for Minnesota. If he's ready to play against the Vikings, I would put him in that game.
So let me just play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you break him out for Philly after beating the Vikings, and now you have a chance to make some headway
It's
in
when
your
he's
division?
ready. It's not about.
yeah.
I think.
Well, of course, it's
But
when he's
but
ready.
I'm saying
But
so.
it's not. Then it's not
But
a
you guys are
decision
talking
about
about
who.
not playing him against because it's not the right game.
No,
to start
I'm
him.
No,
saying I don't
if you
wanna-
haven't started his 20-day clock, he's
Yeah,
not playing
I-
against Philly. I mean, that's just what they said.
If they started the clock today, no, they have 21 days to put him in. Like with Brian Robinson, they started the clock and he played that week.
So we have a 21-day clock. No one tells me about shit. Is it
Yes.
daylight? Is that involved with daylight
There's
saving?
an extra hour involved, so you're
fall
good
back?
to go. Yeah, you fall. You fall on your face.
All right, that's fair.
We have 21 days to activate him. And so just as a point of reference, we started the clock on B-Rob. He played that week. The fact that they started the clock, whenever you start the clock on these guys, it's kind of stupid.
It's just a
They're
60
playing.
minutes commercial. Just tick, 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 tick. It always means it's Sunday and the anxiety kicks in of the new week starting and football's almost over. I hate this thing. I can't stand it.
It makes me, it like stresses me out.
As soon as I
gives
hear
me
it,
anxiety.
I hate it. I also hate fall back. I hate when it's dark at 5 o'clock. Shit's about to get crazy around here.
I know. But T, to answer your question, I'm not talking about any football. I'm also talking about this feel, the 60 minutes type feel. I don't want us to put that on Chase. To be like, okay, we're playing an undefeated Philadelphia Eagles team this week, and we got Chase Young. I don't want that for Chase.
Wait till his first series. Did he get a sack yet?
Yeah.
Was there a sack yet? Did he make a tackle? Did he do bad?
Yeah.
Oh, he's terrible.
If they got him on the field, they said he was practicing already last week, right? He's been out there running around. So I'll tell you this much: if what Greg Martin is reporting is true, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, I would say that leans that to me. I bet you he's active this week, and maybe he plays like 10 plays. He's going to be on a pitch count one way or another. When he gets back, they're going to figure out where to put him in and how to make him comfortable. But this is the perfect game for it. You're riding a streak. You got Kirk Cousins. I mean, think about this. Think about Kirk Cousins getting wrapped up by Chase Young in the backfield on a Sunday afternoon. That to me, it's everything. That picture says 1,000 words.
When I saw DeAndre Hopkins catch 12 passes for 159 yards and a teeter, I was thinking Terry McLaurin might be looking at that same game film thinking, I kind of
can do that.
I kind of like some of the things they were doing with D-Hop, baby. Get me the ball. Get it to Curtis, too. Let's go. We can throw the ball on these guys, but like T said, we got to run it. Got to run it first.
Yep.
But no, the matchups of the game are so odd. Like, is Adam Thielen going to go out with an injury again and ruin everyone's fantasy week that has him? Or is he going to, against us, come out here and have 9 catches for 120 yards and a touchdown?
He's so solid.
He is, but something's wrong with him, and he didn't finish the game last week, and they're a different team when it's just Justin Jefferson. You can take a little peek at Justin, maybe take him out schematically. It doesn't have to be one guy beating you. But Thielen and him is the double jeopardy, especially with Dalvin Cook sitting back there and his explosiveness. But we'll just keep telling each other every running back is a good matchup for us.
Well, by the way, we're facing a tight end for the second time in 9 weeks. As the Minnesota Vikings at the trade deadline brought in T.J. Hawkinson, who is a very good tight end.
Yeah, I was happy about Irv Smith being out, and then we get here, and then everyone's telling me Hawkinson.
And we're getting Hawkinson, and
Holy
he
shit.
He hocked us up when we played against Detroit. Now, of course, when we played Detroit, every single one of their players was Hall of Fame bound. They couldn't do a single thing wrong. We were down, what was that, 22-0 at halftime?
Aiden Hutchinson actually went to the Hall of Fame as a rookie on his.
He went to the Hall of Fame as a rookie. He had like 3 sacks in the first half.
I think he sent like his game
Cleats
jersey.
or
And,
jockstrap. It
Yeah.
was weird, whatever
Gosh.
it was. It was crazy.
it was a scratch and sniff as well. It's a new exhibit.
Scratch and sniff.
It's a new
See,
exhibit.
everyone
they got.
knows about that.
Everything is
it's a
hands-on
thing.
these days. It's very.
It's for the kids. The getting Chase Young involved this week to me is super smart. That's the only way I think that it works. Because so let's go this way. So everyone is putting a lot on this Redskins football team commander squad to we got the 4-4. Now what? We're in the mix. Now what? And the problem with our now what means is going right into Minnesota and Philadelphia, which are two of the better teams in our conference. Ken Harris pointed it out already on the board. It's not just a tough stretch because we're playing good teams. It's a tough stretch because in the landscape of the league, where we stand right now is very much contingent on conference record. These are two NFC teams we're playing. Obviously, one's a division team. But these wins, if we can get one, matter so much in the grand scheme. And don't let it be forgotten that we got a 17-game schedule. The oddness of the schedule is going to put a little bit of an extra emphasis on getting that conference win because there's going to be so many teams lumped in, at the end of the season, there's going to be a bunch of 8 and 9 teams, a bunch of 9 and 8 teams, and it's all going to be divided up by these conference wins. So, I think we've earned the right not to chalk up losses by any stretch, but I think we've earned the right to say we're going to give Philadelphia and Minnesota our best, but by no means is 4-6 a death knell to a team like this in a season like this, especially with the schedule that's coming up behind them. On the flip side, now I just gave you words that don't usually come out of my mouth by being somewhat realistic about that thing. On the other side, though, if you come out of this 2-week stretch 1-1 somehow, some way, and end up 5-5 after 10 weeks, likely, which is possible, then I think we're no longer talking about just being happy to be 4-4, and thank God we're not 2-6, and thank God we're not the team that we've been in Week 8 so many times. At 5-5 with a 1-1 record in the next 2 weeks, I think you got something. I think you got something to stand on. I think you got. I think Ron Rivera can stand in front of that locker room and make his case in a meaningful manner that matters in the next 5 weeks, because we got some games that are really winnable in the next 5 weeks. And Kev, we've lost those games in years past, and that's the difference between this year and the years and the years past. Is if we can make a stand in the next 2 weeks, then Ron Rivera and that coaching staff can say, guys, we shouldn't lose the Falcons. We can't. We shouldn't get swept by the Giants. We should be able to hang with.
Let's take care of Houston.
Houston. Exactly. These are the things that get you to week 14 and 15, and you're watching ESPN, and you're watching Fox, and it's in the hunt, in the mix, inside the bubble. I think that's where we're heading. I really do, and I know that's not whiskey talking.
We'll be on that third, wild card race line of the graphic.
We might be on that second one. There's no one any good, hopefully, and everyone stinks. Now here's the
standings.
One third of our NFC East schedule is in the rear view, which is a good thing. So you got the Giants twice, and we got Dallas in the last game of the year, hoping that they gotta won't want to play anybody that day, and then Philly on Monday night in Philly. So Cowboys at home, Giants at home, Philly away on Monday, and Giants away. There's an opportunity for us to succeed without it being some crazy upset. It's just the way the league is right now. And the last 3 weeks, we've proven that maybe we're better than these turds at the bottom of the toilet. Maybe we should be floating around, hovering down by the top.
Look at the results.
Eventually we get out. Maybe we get out of the bowl.
Look at the results. The results for this past week. I mean, Vikings struggled against the Cards this week. A bad Saints team beat just a snake-bitten Raiders team. The Patriots, jumped up and took the Jets down. Obviously, the Eagles rolled. Obviously, the Titans rolled behind 200 yards behind Derrick Henry, but that was a 17-10 game. You're talking about a 5-2 Titans team that had no business only winning that game by 7. The 49ers taking down the Rams. That's been a thing as of late. Giants losing to the Seahawks. The Seahawks are on a roll. But last night, if you would have asked me, if I would have put money down on any, I would never have bet on the Browns. Never. I would have been dead wrong. And I obviously don't know what I'm talking about. But I think that's, you look at Joe Burrow and what Cincinnati's been able to do over the last 12 months. am I saying that because we're going to build up because next Tuesday we're going to be talking about a Philadelphia Eagles game. Okay, guys. Now, one way or the other, no matter what happens against Minnesota, we have Philadelphia Eagles coming on our schedule, and we got to figure out a way to understand.
They need to use something else.
Now they get a new schedule.
Hey, get a sock.
Get a new schedule.
Was that the magnet one? That wasn't the fridge
Tissue or
magnet one,
something.
was it?
Jesus.
No, it's not the fridge magnet. That's the real estate agent that sends it to you. And it's got the pictures on it. There's no reason to believe that with the length of the season now and the way that it's stretched out and the manner in which the league has shown itself to be over the last month, we can trend right on up into the upper tier of that
Right up in there.
muff. It's the muff of the league. It's the muff of the league. We're right in the middle of the muff of the league. Is it now?
Don't touch me after that one. It's kind of it felt weird.
That was a stretch. That was a stretch.
It was a stretch.
I'm trying here. I'm trying. We didn't get
trying
a
to
single
avoid
thumbs
it.
up from that. No, not a thumb up, not a thumb
It was
anything.
bizarre. It got weird, and then it
No,
got
Ken
creepy.
stretched the muff. He stretched it.
All the Browns with Deshaun Watson
Good
is going to be a
stretchy muff.
tough out. But I've been saying it all season. As much as I think Nick Chubb's the best running back in the league, our defense handles running backs like that. That's our strength.
We handled Chubbs well. Is that what you're saying?
See, I know. Well, yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
mean,
That's
specifically what you just said.
That's what I'm
And it
saying.
was
Oh, we got
definitely-
a thumbs up for that
It
one.
was definitely
Thank you.
right after you started talking about Deshaun, which was just freaking me out completely.
Yeah.
It was like it went from Muffetch to Deshaun to Chubbs, so I'd sprung on Chubbs. You got that?
Yeah, I'm gonna go home and take a shower.
I pounced on that.
Could it be that the muff is worn out, Robert Cohen? It's possible. We're tied with San Francisco. They're 4-4. They own the tiebreaker against us right now. That tiebreaker is owned by San Francisco, and I think the tiebreaker actually is. And if we look at that, I can tell you that right now. San Francisco wins a tiebreaker over Washington, based
have
on
a lot of NFC
best
wins.
winning percentage in the conference. Again, that's what it comes down
That
to.
would make sense.
Winning against Indianapolis is great, but it does not help us in our playoff race. All right, we are coming to the end of yet another Tuesday night miracle. What is the score on Sunday? Bring it on, everybody. T, you're leading us off this week. I've been the worst at this game by a long shot. It's not even close. I shouldn't even be allowed to play.
I'm in and around, never right on, but Kirk does have ability, and he is going to move the ball.
He's talking to himself. He's talking
So-
himself into it.
Heineke's going to have to move the ball, and he's going to have to do some things. I also think Brian Robinson has a breakout game. So I am going to say that uncharacteristically, they are going to get things on track and pull out a 27-24 victory for the Washington football team.
I wrote this down before you started talking, and I thought I was going to be in the clear. 27-20 is what I have here.
27-20.
27-20. So 44-point over-under. I think we're +3 again, which means who the hell knows? And I think 27 for the good guys and 20 for the Kirk Cousins. I mean, Kirk's got to be in mourning about what Michigan State just did to Michigan. He's been praying. He's been lighting candles. I hope he's been staying up all night. Maybe he'll even fast because that was some bullshit. Those dudes got struck. That was some nasties
no
by
need
the
for
Michigan
that.
State Cousins.
Yep.
So maybe Kirk's sad about that. You know, I feel like it's something that would bother him immensely. Just like the cheerleader uniforms here right before he left.
Just like the cheerleader.
And your outfit when T and I got here today would have definitely pissed him off. I'm not going to lie. Hated it.
Well, there was a lot of muff involved in that outfit, obviously. I will say this. We have had our issues. Our quarterbacks have ended up wearing purple. I would say guys that we have at some point in time loved. Brad Johnson, most notably, left town. I was at the game. He rolled into town. It was a close game. Minnesota won at the end. When Brad Johnson walked out of the building, famously was wearing his Redskins 14 as he left the building. And I got no problem with it because I love Brad Johnson. Gus Farrat.
Yeah, they brought in Jeff George's ass for him.
Dude.
He should be sick to his stomach.
I'm sick to my stomach still about that.
And he got booted for Tony Banks, who got booted for Vinny Serrato.
God.
Yeah, there's a lot of booting going on.
A lot of booting. Gus Frerotte ended up in a Vikings jersey. I don't know that he ever rolled into town and wore his Redskins jersey after he left FedEx Field. Kirk Cousins coming back as a Viking. I think that I like the we make them play ugly. I've been predicting an offensive explosion on our part for the last few weeks. I'm not doing that this week. I'm predicting an ugly game. I'm predicting we bring them down to our level. I'm predicting we make them play our style, and I'm predicting we win at our style. 19-17. Good guys. Oh, manner of speaking, I beat you by 2 seconds. But we're on the same page. 19-17.
Also, you didn't say it fast enough for him to type it. So both of you guys.
It's true.
We're
on the same wavelength.
Yes.
It's going to be that's exactly the kind of game I'm predicting.
The old 19-17.
I think Joey Sly with a bunch of field goals. I don't know how we're going to get that touchdown.
This weekend.
It's going to be ugly because that's who we are. But it's not about us being ugly. It's about us making the other team look uglier. And guess what? That's how you win. That's what. It's so hard to win in this league. If you can make the other team look uglier, man, you're doing something pretty damn good, and you're doing it at a super high level. Those guys get paid hundreds of millions of dollars. The other side of the football on NFL Sunday averages half the salary cap. Just think about that. There's $150 million on the line on 11 guys to beat your 11 guys. So it's not easy. But if you make them look ugly, you're doing something good. We're going to make them look ugly 19-17. That's what I got. Pretty excited about this, guys.
I mean, as excited as you could be about, like, Kirk Cousins coming over.
I know.
Like,
I don't think anybody really gives a shit that Kirk Cousins is coming.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I know.
It's like, who's coming? Well, I mean, T and Ken are here. Kirk Cousins is on his way. Is there another podcast?
Purple
on
drink.
Tuesday?
Some Sunny, I guess some Sunny D. Oh.
Is anyone else coming? I'm not going.
We will be back in 7 days to talk about the continuation of a winning streak, the manner in which we made the purple folks look ugly, because I think that's the way we're going to be getting it done in the next few weeks. I hope we can continue that. Now, thankfully, the best part about it is Philadelphia is ugly already. You know, we don't have to ugly them up too much. We just got to accentuate it, a little foundation, maybe a little something a little uptight. You know, just kind of.
I'm done with it. Do you want to sit here next week?
No, I'm not listening.
Until next Tuesday night, he's Tim Strachan.
Let me get this straight. I have to clear this up. Never have I, nor never will I, share a pillow with Ken Marangolo.
Did anyone say that?
And no one said that.
He talked about pillow talk.
It's an interesting denial. It's an interesting denial.
I want to make sure that
no one alleged that.
That
pillow
would never happen.
Pillow
Ever.
talk.
It would
Pillow
never happen.
talk.
Secondly,
those aren't pillows.
Brian Robinson gets 2 touchdowns this weekend.
2 touchdowns.
Let's go.
How?
Let's go.
I don't know how we get to 19 with 2 touchdowns, but I'm going to take it. I got to take it. He's Kevin Ricca.
2 touchdowns with a safety, a 2-point conversion, and a field goal, obviously. And I hope that's what it is. I would like Terry McLaurin to write chapter 3 of I'm putting this damn team on my back, and I'm sick of freaking losing. And I want to just watch how he does it, because at this point, it might not be about production of him having to make the game-saving hero play. He has elevated everyone in that locker room. I think people look around and say, I got to follow that guy all week. I got to follow that guy all week. I want to be near him. I got to feed off his energy, what he's doing right now. You see the guys on defense, St. Jude texting 17. That's the tweet. Anyone see Terry? That's his teammates are propping him up. He's not the one. He's not that guy. He's not that guy. That receiver. That diva. He's not. He's our heart and soul offensively.
That Ron Rivera.
Keep it rolling.
Number 17. Offensively and defensively.
Everyone's looking up to him right now, and it's for a reason.
It is for a reason. When he goes up and takes that ball out of there.
That Ron Rivera gave him that we talked about last week in that slow motion going to commercial shot, that's what that was all about. He was looking at a guy who was not only respected by his teammates for the way he played, but that outburst of emotion was what I think Ron Rivera has been hoping Terry McLaurin would finally do, because it has a huge effect on this team.
And this is my city.
This is my city.
Ursay had to be like, God damn it.
This is my
Someone
city.
call my guy. I'm stressed.
Give me a drink.
This is ridiculous.
Sir, it's been 15 years. Give me a drink.
I will leave
Sir, it's
you
been 15
with this, and I want to see those thumbs up. I will leave you with this. I'm sitting at Willie and Reed's. It's a cold, blustery Monday night, and I'm with some Ravens fans and with some Redskins fans, and we're sitting at the bar, and we're playing against the Cowboys on Monday Night Football. It's 17 years ago, and
You worked there.
a bunch of guys were saying, it's time to leave. Let's beat the traffic. Let's get out of here. And I said, I'm going to sit here because my tradition is I want to see like what the moment in which our season is ended. Like I know what it looks like. I've seen it a million times. I don't leave until I see it. I want to see it. Mark Brunell dropped back and tossed the ball over top of Roy Williams for Santana Moss. Not once, but twice. It's 2005. Bill Parcells ate his lips. He started eating his face. It was awesome. It was the greatest thing ever. Joe Gibbs took a team that knew how to win ugly. We won ugly. And he took that team to the playoffs. And he did it behind some stellar performances from some standout guys. Obviously, we had Sean Taylor on that team. Obviously, we had Santana Moss. Obviously, we had an over-the-hill Mark Brunell. We got some offensive linemen who were worth their weight in gold. That is the possibility for this team, because that is the last time, Kevin, that we came back from 2 scores down in the last 5 minutes of a game to win. That's the last time it happened. It's only
Since 2000.
2000. Only twice has it happened. That was the last one before this
It's
past
only
week.
yes.
That is the kind of team that we're learning how to embrace. That is the kind of team that we need to see and understand who they are and what they are all about. And I will promise you this: you will not be disappointed by this group of gentlemen. Terry McLaurin rising up and bringing that ball down. How many times have we watched a player on our team, and I'm not going to throw shade on a single player who's ever worn our uniform, but we've seen the one arm go up. We've seen a back to a cornerback and reaching back, and the play has not been made, and then the game is ended with a ball laying on the dirt. The fact that our guy went up and attacked the ball at its highest point and brought it down and got us a win, that is who we are. That is who we are. And Terry McLaurin is in the process of defining who we are, along with Jonathan Allen. And I'm begging you, my fellow Commanders, Redskins football teams fans, I'm begging you, don't sleep on the beauty of our ugliness, because it is right there in front of you to behold, and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous thing, and it is the way that we win, and it is the way we can continue to win, and it is something to savor.
I think all of you are just being awarded. I've been in touch with the state for the last 20 seconds. Everyone gets a free medical marijuana card.
Yes! Yes!
After everything we just listened to for a few minutes,
Thank
I think
you.
we've all qualified.
Okay.
Congratulations,
They're
man.
beautiful.
Congratulations.
Rhett, when you wake up, I got some great news.
You got some great news, buddy. Savor the beauty of our ugliness. We'll see you next Tuesday night. We're still live.
Oh, top heavy. EO coming in off the top rope. We watch this show. We are used to looking at ugly.
Yes!
Still live.